Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto News. We're going to be talking about an update on the Heather and Tucci case and what exactly is going on and what can we be expecting the next couple days. So here's a photo of Bill and Yusuf outside of the courtroom today that took place. And Paul, can you explain in a nutshell about the hearing today? I know it's to prove she is who she is, but how do all these docs verify her if she hasn't signed anything? That's where I'm kind of confused. If she signs, she has contracted with the court. If she doesn't sign, they have to verify who she is, and she is saying that she is as described in the original due declaration and notice of factualized trust, and all the grounding documents, a perfected claim against the jurisdiction of the court or anyone else for that matter. She is standing in original jurisdiction with the former and alleged U.S. District Court. Cannot touch in any shape or form. So you filed an entire bundle with the clerk's office and you have original stamp for filing the index. Is that correct? Yes, exactly. It's possible it doesn't make it into the record, but at least we have proof they got it. Do you have a copy? Yes. Yes, we're in. And here's a copy of the documents here showing that she is who she is. And it shows here that there's a factualized trust, original due declaration, UCC records, and UCC filings. So continuing on here, today's court hearing will be held at U.S. District Court, 333 Constitution Avenue, Washington, D.C., 2003. Time hearing is at 2 p.m. Courtroom number 4, second floor. Case number 1, semicolon 17 MJ-531. Hearing type, identity, Magistrate Judge Deborah Robinson, David Boss, appointed defense attorney. Court hearing has ended. I'm going to show you guys a little stream of what their opinions were and exactly what happened inside and what we should also be expecting. But continuing on, Heather's case number, Deborah Robinson is the judge. You see that record number now. That's an internal issued one by the clerk and does not appear on any systems because of the nature of what the position actually is. Heather hasn't signed anything, so she has not contracted. They do not know who she is, and she has not entered any jurisdiction of any court. So we're going to have a huge U.S. District Court case discussion now about the original factualized trust and under Uniform Commercial Code and decide it before she ever enters any jurisdiction other than the original jurisdiction, which is priceless. Bill's simulation of identity hearing on July 31st, 2017. First thing that happened, it was a sealed court. Visitors evicted from courtroom. One large bald guy in suit and one small guy in pinstripes stayed. Small guy later identified as Parker Hill, government witness. Tech guy was setting up projector for a prosecutor. We could presume to show photos of Heather. Unknown. Second thing that happened was David Boss moves to have court unsealed due to unsealing of case in Tennessee. Judge and prosecutor agree. Third thing, we are allowed back into the courtroom. Heather unshackled twice in hallway, indicating hand and leg shackling. Number 4, David Boss says Heather wishes to represent herself, pro se, with him as standby counsel. Number 5, Judge looks confused and asks if his client does this knowingly. He says yes. Judge said premature to rule in favor of standby counsel. Boss has meeting with Heather on Wednesday. Ask for continuance. Prosecution looks at Parker. He nods. They agree on Friday hearing at 10 a.m. unsealed court. David Boss views nature outside counsel as unlikely. Heather to proceed pro se Friday. Heather looks very well, healthy, and looking forward to Friday. Tennessee folks did not seem pleased, obviously. So, okay, you guys, so let's get an idea of exactly what went down outside of the courthouse. Okay.
Hey guys, it's Neil Wolf here. We'll let things build up a little bit. Got out of our the hearing, and I'm actually walking behind what I believe to be FBI agent Parker and his associate FBI agent. I believe that's him. I don't know for sure, and I believe he actually came up from Tennessee to, I guess, testify in the identity hearing of Heather Ann, and I'm going to explain a little more on that in a bit. But I'm just trying to ID who these guys are. I assume it's Agent Parker. He wouldn't answer any questions. Refused to answer any questions, and nor would the agent that was with him. So, excuse me, Marshall. Marshall. Do you have any idea why Agent Parker wouldn't answer my questions or identify himself? Yeah. Okay, but that was Agent Parker, wasn't it?
I don't even know that for sure.
Okay.
All I'm concerned about is security here at the courthouse.
Sure. Well, I'm certainly no threat to security here. You asked me if I was a journalist, which I am. Would that afford me special privileges in the courtroom?
No, because you obviously don't have the press badge, the congressional press badge.
Oh, well, I don't need it.
Right,
I don't need a congressional press badge. I'm a human being that reports the truth.
Okay.
So, my press.
You can come in the courthouse, but we have to lock your phone.
Yeah, my press badge. So if I get a press badge, I don't have to lock my phone up. Gotcha. But, yeah, anyway, we're all the press, you know. It's the First Amendment, freedom of the press, and we're all free. And get my notes out and tell you what happened today. I think it was a pretty good day overall. So, again, for those of you that don't know, I'm here in front of the federal courthouse, 333 Constitution Avenue in Washington, D.C. for, give me 1 second, let me get these notes straight. For Heather Ann's identity hearing. So basically, I'll just walk you guys through even the boring details. A court technician came in prior to the hearing and hooked up a cable both to the prosecutor's notebook, and then turned on a big monitor in the courtroom, as well as putting a smaller monitor on Heather Ann, the defendant's table, so that they could, see whatever's up on the screen easily. So apparently they were going to present some sort of evidence that was on the prosecutor's or the government's attorney's PC in regards to her identity trial. So, but we never got to that because, first of all, let's see, her lawyer, Mr. Boss, who, in my opinion, seems like a relatively competent guy. You know, he's a court-appointed federal defender, public defender. It looks as if Heather is asking, and Mr. Boss requested that he become secondary counsel, and that she represent herself, and that status could change if she's able to retain a certain attorney. They didn't say which attorney. I would imagine it's like a UCC attorney, expert in that. And so the judge basically said, that she thinks that's a bit premature. And reason being, we didn't go into any identity proceedings today, okay? Because Heather's attorney asserted that she's got documentation coming in that she still hasn't been able to review, which probably has to do with establishing her identity, and that her attorney, Mr. Boss, won't be able to go over that with her until Wednesday morning, because the court the judge wanted to have this identity hearing only continued for 2 more days, because I think is feeling, the speedy trial thing of not holding her in detention like this. Heather Ann did agree to continue to be held without bond, and her attorney are going to be meeting Wednesday, going over documentation that's going to help establish her identity. And so the attorney pressed the judge and kind of had to convince her into making this a hearing for Friday, this coming Friday, to give him the opportunity to look over the evidence as well. And perhaps at that time, by the way, let me back up. I just got out of the courtroom. The case was unsealed today, okay? So we were asked to leave the courtroom. It was unsealed, and we were brought back in the courtroom to see the proceedings. That's why I took detailed notes. I do believe that FBI agent Parker was in the room. I've never seen the man before, but he was kind of a slight build, maybe 5'9", 5'10", not a real big guy, black hair, kind of a Dracula hairdo maybe. And then he had another federal agent with him, I think was a federal agent. He refused to answer my questions or identify himself. I went up and asked him if he was a federal agent with Agent Parker. I actually asked the U.S. Marshal, like, why Agent Parker wouldn't answer my questions. You guys saw that on vid. So I'm pretty sure that is the Agent Parker that has been referenced in this case. So now, as it stands, we are looking at a Friday at 10 a.m. August the 4th hearing, which will be an identity hearing, and I would suspect at that time that the judge is going to grant Heather Ann the right to represent herself with her attorney, Mr. Boss, being secondary counsel, and that's probably all contingent also on her being able to secure the right lawyer who she wants to secure, I think, which they're very limited out there, the lawyers that have the skill within the UCC law that I think Heather's looking for. What else? You know, I'll say this, it's like there were only 3 of us there on Heather's behalf other than her lawyer. And it seemed to me like they brought in extra marshals. I think they had, what, 4 or 5, they brought in 5 U.S. Marshals, you know, which normally I think a proceeding like that is going to have 1 or 2, maybe 3, but they had 5 in there. They came in after that hearing started. I always kind of find that humorous. That's like the little message of, oh, you guys are dangerous, you know? Yeah, we're dangerous, all right. Well, we're dangerous on an intellectual level, not a tear up the courtroom level. Let me see. When the Judge Ann won, who placed? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry it's shaky. I'll try to hold it steadier. I'm trying to like hold notes, and let me see. Let me shorten the stick. Maybe that'll shrink the shakiness. Besides, who the hell wants to see me? Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm so ugly, you should be happy it's shaking. Let's see what else I've got here. So, bottom line too, that Heather Ann, they didn't even request bond. That's got to all be by design, because I kind of left there going, gosh, I wish they'd at least requested bond, you know, to liberate her. But they didn't even request bond, and I don't think she wanted it. I always thought that was the defendant's right if they choose to defend themselves. Well, I think it is the defendant's right to choose if they defend themselves, but I think the judge also has to make sure that they're making a sound decision, that they understand the decision that they are making, and you know, that they're in sound mind and body to make that decision. Yeah, I think she's doing everything for a reason too. Let me look through my notes a little more here, guys. You can ask questions if you have any. I can kind of see them. Of sound mind, yeah. She is making history by established identity and account ownership, which will set the precedence for all. Yes, I believe that too. Does not want bond. No, I believe she doesn't either, because I didn't hear anybody asking for it. If she wanted it, she would ask for it. Oh, physically, she's looking well also. I believe her U.S. Marshal, the marshals that brought her in from the back, saw this guy last time. I've had dealings with the U.S. Marshals here in lockup before, and I got to tell you, some of them are complete assholes. And I think that this one guy, short, stocky, white guy, who, you know, when the proceeding was over, Heather's sitting there trying to talk to her lawyer, and that asshole seemed like he was like, get your papers up, we're taking you back in the back, you know, instead of giving her a second with her lawyer. And I think he said, well, you can talk to your lawyer in the back. So your typical jackboot jackass there, just not pleasant or professional in my opinion. And I got to tell you, me being poked yesterday, these U.S. Marshals up here in this court system, I'm not talking about the U.S. Marshals that are out there catching fugitives, But these little bailiffs and jail keepers up here in the DC system, I've run into some really bad egg, evil son of a bitches in that process. Not all of them, though. Some of them are good guys up here, and I've run into them as well. But, man, it seems like they got some serious ego issues. Now I'm having problems seeing the screen again in case anybody's asking anything. Let's see. So, looks like she's got some good evidence coming in, probably from family and friends, you know, proving that she's an actual human being. I was telling my father about that. I said, here's the absurdity of it. You know, you gotta prove that you're this human being, you know, because you're lost at sea. Asking boss about return. Neil, it's time to let go of us and them. Okay, whatever. You know what? I'm not here for a spiritual powwow with you, so please don't do that when I'm trying to report on news, okay? I am trying to report the facts to you. If you want to, you know, deal in the oneness and lack of separation, why don't you go ahead and have your own podcast? Thank you. I'm just trying to deal with the facts here. I'm not running a spiritual guru session, okay? Thank you. So at this time, anyway, the judge did deny the request for Heather to represent herself and for Boss to be her secondary counsel. She just said it's a bit premature, and I think feels like they need to review that evidence that's come in. But again, I think that the judge is going to grant that on Friday. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to try to be here Friday at 10 a.m. and hopefully Heather's up there, you know, doing her thing. I look forward to seeing that. Anyway, that's about it. You know, Bill and Heather's husband were up here. Somebody else had told me they were on the way, called me and stuff, but they didn't end up showing up. So whatever. I hope they're all right. I hope they didn't get in a car accident or anything, because they sounded like they were coming for sure. So that's about it. Yes, he was. Yeah, I never asked him if it was okay to say that, but yeah, he was there. I assume that's fine. What's the Congress? Thank you. Petition link. God bless you for it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If she proves she is who she is, what then? Well, then I believe she's going to be extradited to Tennessee. Now, I'm not the man. I'm just a guy from, you know, reporting to you guys. I happen to be geographically close to this, and I would expect all of you to do the same if you were in my position. Out here, you know, standing for each other, letting the world know that Heather Ann is certainly not forgotten. What is the need to establish identity before they could facilitate a bond request? Well, I would say that too. Yeah, they need to establish. But I don't think she's going to be. Look, I'm not a lawyer, but I think that if Tennessee has the extradition order, then I don't think she could be bailed out or bonded here in you know, D.C. I think she has to go back to Tennessee first and then be bonded out in Tennessee. At least I think. I don't think they could do that here unless maybe a judge down there or something signed off on it. So I think before they can extradite, they have to establish that identity. They certainly probably have to establish identity before they can bond or bail her out. But I don't think that's going to happen up here. I hope that answers your question. That's the best of my ability. I'm not an attorney, but that's what makes sense. Do you know if Judge Anna is helping? No, I do not know. Do not know. So that's about it. Yeah, she does look good. Every time seems like I move. Yeah, she did look okay. She did. She's got a nice tan, and she looked, you know, she didn't look scared at all. She looked confident and good. All right. You know, I mean, you know, this is one of those stories in regards to getting the story out too. I mean, you couldn't pay the mainstream media $1 million to cover this story. You guys know that, you know? So it's all got to come from reporting from people like me, and then you guys spreading the word, and, you know, us doing that. Like that's really the only way the truth gets out anymore, you know? How are you living? Who, me? Are you asking me how I'm living? You mean how they haven't killed me yet? I'm untouchable. They can't kill me. They can't hurt me. They can't kill me. They would have done it a long time ago if they could have. Yeah, we could fund it if you know, funding's needed. Actually, there is a link to donations on BZ's blog, which I can try to put the link to that. I don't, because it's I-UV, but I don't know the rest of the part that you'd need to. But if you go to that website, you know, if you dug around enough, you could probably find the link. Is Heather being released? No, Heather is not being released today. I don't think Heather wanted to be released today. And sorry, son's in my. Oh, okay. There's somebody put that up. Maybe if someone could post a specific link to the update blog, to BZ's specific update blog, that would be cool. Yeah, 8/4 at 10 a.m. And I presume it's going to be second floor, courtroom number 4. And, you know, it wouldn't be a bad thing if a few people trekked down here that day. I will tell you this, if you did want to do that, there is a metro station, metro rail very close by. So if, for instance, I recommend if you were coming down and getting a hotel, that you get a hotel in Virginia, perhaps down in Old Town Alexandria, right on King Street. There's King Street Metro, and that way you can metro right over here in the morning. I once again got lucky driving my truck, and I think you guys subconsciously willed another great parking space for me. I was actually closer this time than the last time, and it was the only parking spot on the entire street. I pulled up, did a U-ey, boom. So yeah, if other people can make it, you know, I don't think it's a good idea to come here necessarily and rabble-rouse up in the courtroom, but, you know, being a presence, being a positive presence, and having your energy felt, I think, is a good thing. Hey, greetings from Sweden. Greetings to you too. Do I know Randy's status? No. Too busy chasing the buck. Court observers are always good. Take pad and paper. I did, man. You should have seen me. I've got like 5 pages of notes out of 10 minutes worth of stuff. I can post them up. Half of it's probably, but you can. I'm fine with that. This is a legal process. It's not monetized either, yeah. Would want us to keep using our TDAs. You know, my personal opinion on using your TDAs right now, I'm just going to give you my layman's personal opinion, okay? And you guys can shoot me down if you want on this, because there's a lot of you out there that know more about this than I do. But if I were you at this time, I might, unless you absolutely, somebody is writing, you would advise them not to use which is kind of what I was just going to say. I'd say unless you're absolutely destitute and trying to do it to put food on your table, then I would hold off on doing that for now. And let's wait and see how things shake out a little bit here. Particularly, I'm one that believes that the government's going to motion to dismiss this case sooner than later, but I might be wrong. And my other take on your TDA accounts are, my understanding is that most of us have millions of dollars in there. And I'm not saying anybody should go and do this. Now, again, first of all, let me preface this by saying I think you should wait things out before you do anything with this. But my line of thinking is that, for instance, in Randy's case, they charged him with 5 counts of wire fraud, 5 counts bank fraud, 6 counts, something like that. And that's probably for each instance that he went and tried to access his TDA. So, in my opinion, and I'm going to still do some more research on this, and I'm still thinking about this, I think one would maybe be better off when they felt the time is right, which I don't think personally is now, but when they felt the time was right to access their TDA account, to do it big time, okay, and do it one time. That's going to be my strategy. Other than maybe testing it out, I want to get it out of there and get it elsewhere quickly. So I don't know how I find out exactly how much is in each individual account or how you guys find that out, but I'm going to take a guesstimate and see if the transfer takes place and get it into other assets that are more easily protected. One thing that I'm just going to say I'll be looking into will be cryptocurrencies. And I think it also matters where you have your wallet, where the server for your wallet is located. And it may be ideal to not have your crypto, if you go the crypto route and you want to transform your USD into cryptos, and I'm going to probably bore some people with this, but you use an online wallet to hold those cryptos. That's one way to do it. A better way to maybe do it in this instance would be hold some online in a wallet, but then create what's called a paper wallet, which is it's a lot more secure in that it's not floating around there on the internet where a hacker could steal your stuff. And but anyways, I'm kind of trying to look for a wallet, a Bitcoin wallet that is not based in the U.S. and ideally does not have an extradition treaty with the U.S. So if the FBI, for instance, wants to try to grab those funds after you get them converted into crypto, they can't do it. Or whatever authority wants to try to do that. It's going to be more difficult for them to do with anything overseas and foreign. And then, once that stuff's into cryptos, for whatever, I don't know how much you guys know about cryptos, but you can even, for instance, funnel some to a crypto wallet that has a Visa card directly connected to it. There's quite a few businesses around the world that will accept crypto as payment, Bitcoin typically as payment for stuff. So I think that's something to think about, give thought to, instead of necessarily, that's my thinking, and I'm open to people talking me out of that. But my thinking is that if you're going to do it, kind of do like Bean did and go large, and make it a minimal number of counts that they could even charge you with if they were going to charge you. So that's my take on that. I'm sorry, I haven't been reading this. You're saying they're closing the window on kind of the crypto autonomy? Is that what you're saying? Sorry, I couldn't catch your name. So somebody said they're heading down to D.C. with a decent-sized group to show support on Friday. Hey, it's free advice. You get what you pay for. I don't even like to call that advice. It's just my train of thought, okay? I am not an expert on this, okay? You're better off asking people other than myself. This is just what the process I've thought through, okay? So don't act on any of my advice on anything. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you, just to be clear. I'm not a crypto advisor. I'm not a collateral TDA account advisor or any of the above. I don't encourage you or discourage you. Crypto is like Bitcoin. There's lots of different cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Siacoin, Steam, you name it. Yeah, I know. Fictitious, right? That fictitious money bought him a nice big diesel RV, didn't it? So, yeah, and I'll tell you the other thing, folks. I'm going to share my thoughts with you on this too. And again, don't act on this. This is just my train of thought that I'd like to share with you. My individual thoughts is that I think that what's going to happen, I think that what is the best way to play this, I think, is after things clear up in Tennessee, whether the government dismisses the case or whether they get shredded by Heather Ann in the decision, that somebody just texted me that they're here now. There she is. So the person who finally was able to get here. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. It was on the it's talking about the crypto thing. I know that, and strategies. Damn, this was pretty good stuff too, I thought. I can't remember. Oh, don't. Oh, sorry. What was going to happen after the tan thing? Oh, Tennessee. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks. So here's what's going to happen, I think, folks. The people in the know on this are a very relatively small portion of the population. I'd be shocked if it was even 0.5%. meaning 0.5% of the American population. I know there's folks in other countries that know about this stuff too, but let's say 0.5%, that's 1.5 million people, okay? So I think one of the keys here, and one possibility, is that those who are aware of this and take advantage of their rightfully owned assets when the time is right, when the proper time has come, and are among that small percentage of people who are aware of this, who have been open-minded about the truth, that you are going to be rewarded. Because what is inevitable, I was a finance major, studied economics and stuff. What is inevitable, she thinks she's going to be on camera and I'm not putting her on camera. What is inevitable is that when 150 million people make a run on their collateral accounts or TDAs, and you all of a sudden have, trillions of dollars injected into the system, well, if everybody's a millionaire, nobody's going to want to work, We probably will run into a little period of, struggling to get food, services, and that sort of thing. And I think this all might be by design, in that the lesson in that will be to show us that money has no real value and that we do not need money as a society, because I'm one that believes money is going to be obsolete very quickly. And it's going to quickly show us that you can have 5 wheelbarrowfuls of money, and when everybody has that, it's worthless because it's all relative. So, but those who have been awakened, and I think the more spiritually enlightened among us tend to be the people that are awakened on this sort of issue, are going to be rewarded, and they will. So I think the key is, my strategy is, I am not going to keep any funds of mine in the form of USD other than maybe some pocket change. No. You got to go out, I think, and buy real estate. You got to go out and buy whatever, gold bullion, 45-foot RVs, whatever. I just think get it out of USD, because once the rush hits, the value of USD is absolutely going to plummet. But if you, for instance, had purchased shitloads of gold bullion or whatever, land, gold and silver, you really can't go wrong with if you can get your hands on enough of that physically. Physical, not certificates. Never buy certificates. Buy physical gold and silver. And then, after the hyperinflation were to kick in, you have kind of locked in your wealth, if you will. And then hopefully the right people in this world will then possess a huge amount of wealth, because I don't plan on using what I gain, for just my own personal gain. Sure, there's probably a few things I'd like to do, kind of as a payoff for all my hard work. I feel like I might have earned it. But for the most part, I want to use my funds to try to help other people. So it's funny how that whole scenario could play out, where all the right people who should have this money to help humanity will have it, whereas folks who were, late to the party and never wanted to believe the truth and always called us conspiracy theorists and nut jobs and tinfoilers, they're going to be left holding the bag, and all they're going to have is a wheelbarrow full of money that's not worth anything. So that's kind of the scenario I see playing out, folks. That this will show to humanity, illustrate to humanity, that we don't need money, and money is a control construct, and it's always has been, and that good people among us who did access their accounts and did transfer that to other than USD, get out of currencies in general and get into tangible assets, gold and silver, land, I don't care, yacht, RV, real estate property, whatever it may be. Cryptos, again, cryptos I think are also a good thing, and it's also good to diversify within that, and maybe have some physical gold and silver, maybe have some cryptos, maybe buy a little land, maybe whatever it may be, So anyway, I'm kind of rambling on that, but I think it's a neat scenario when it occurred to me the other day that this is what I think is going down, Anyway, any other questions? Because I feel like I'm kind of rambling on. This is about theory and philosophy. Yeah, buy a camper. How do you revalue what never lost its value? I don't really know how to answer that. Sorry. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna roll, and count on me. It takes USD to buy crypto, though. Well, yeah, it does. I'm saying and that's what's sitting in your Federal Reserve account is USD as well. But you get it out and buy crypto with it. Of course, it does now. But what will also happen with the crypto, guys, is when 10 20, 30 million people access their accounts, the price of cryptos will have skyrocketed, just like any other non-currency asset. And I'm talking, don't buy stocks and bonds. I don't consider those assets. You know, I'm talking about tangible physical assets, physical gold and silver, physical precious metals, coins. I mean, hell, if you're into art, you might buy some artwork, you know. So anyway, that's about it, guys. I'm gonna roll unless somebody has anything else to say. Appreciate you joining me here. Thank you, and thank you. Thanks everyone for tuning in, because that's huge. We all need to be in on this, and you know, good things are happening. So I'm gonna roll, and thanks everyone. Take care, and I love you all. Bye.
All right, so that's pretty much all we have right now on Heather's case. We're pretty much going to have to wait till Friday, since the continuance that was requested today for the identity hearing to take place on Friday. Now, this is almost better than the situation it was before on Monday, because now that the case is unsealed, the recording is going to actually be more public and more well known on this case, which is, honestly, that's the best opportunity to know what exactly is going on. And pretty soon, you guys, we're actually going to figure out what is up with our TDA accounts and how exactly can we access them. And it's going to be all thanks to Heather and Tucci and Randall Keith Bean for doing what they did and pursuing this, doing it properly with the right documents, with an original factualized trust, filing all of the UCCs and Uniform Commercial Code, acting on canon law. And it's going to be an exciting time to see what is going to happen, you guys. So I'm very, very stoked and can't wait for the events to unfold. Leave your comments in the section below and let me know what you guys think about everything that's going on and the updates that we have. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.